Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameshop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games. Hi, I'm Michael. Join me as I try and fulfill my destiny in The Legend of the Chosen One, the solo variant for Tiny Epic Quest. As always, I'm the blue player, and we've already done all the setup here, so this map is randomised. We are using the one-player side of the magic track, and we've already dealt out our first 3 quests. If you want to learn how to do all the setup and how to play the game, do watch Rodney Smith at Watch It Plays video. He's done a great job on that. So let's take a look at the quests. So the one at the moment that's in danger of being lost here is a item quest, and it requires you to go to the tree temple. This will give you the fairy, and its ability allows the equipped hero to, instead of using the usual movement card, to move 3 cards to a grotto. Then next up we have another item one, another lost treasure, and this one requires the ice temple, and it gives you the boomerang. And this means that when the equipped hero is at a goblin portal, each damage to you also deals a damage to that goblin. And then the final quest we have is a movement quest, and this is a tough one. This, you have to be in this specific formation and you can't be at the castle, but you get a hefty reward, you get a spell level. And to kick off our round 1 day phase, we have options between move by foot or move by griffin. And we're going to go by griffin, and we will go, this guy is going to go here and be facing off against this goblin here. And then our new choice is either by foot or by ship, and we're going to go for by ship. And we're going to sail all the way from our castle down here, round up here, along here, to this space here. So we're going to be learning the first level spell. And our new choice is by raft. So we're going to go up the river here to the ice temple. And then our final option is, of course, by horse or by foot. Now, everyone's actually where I want them. I could have done with activating a grotto, but I wanted to be here and activate a different grotto. It didn't work out. So we're going to be idling, and we'll go for by foot for our idle, which has no real effect. And we're on to the night phase. And obviously I'm not resting yet, so adventuring. There's another dice there, but there we go. Oh, so that's a pretty frustrating start in many ways. Scroll and torch. So power, I'm at max power. That does nothing for me. I have no one on a torch space, so that's not going to help me. The scroll, however, no, other way around. The scroll's doing nothing for me. The torch, though, will move me 1 along this temple track, and then the hit the goblin will do 1 damage to the goblin, and we'll go for another round of adventuring. So, gathering up the dice. And I can't see what that is. That's not good. It's not best result at all. So, mushroom moves 2 on the magic track, and we get 1 torch and 2 scrolls that do nothing for us. So the torch, we're just going to move up the track again, and then we're going to explore again, or adventure again. Ooh, okay, so this is a bit better. So I only have 1 torch, but I can spend 2 power to forge ahead to get a 2nd torch. And then I've got 2 goblin damage. And that's all the dice resolved. So I think we'll adventure again. So let's see if our lucky streak will continue. Oh, and I should have said, actually, when I was doing the setup, we're going to be aiming for legend. So we need a score, a really high score. I figured, you know, if we're going to be playing The Legend of the Chosen One, we should aim for the legend. So we need a score of 60 points. I've never scored that much, so it'll be interesting to see if we manage. Oh, those are not good dice. Well, we gain 1 power. That's useful because we only had 1, so that takes us up to 2. But we then gain 2 mushrooms, taking us into the next section on the mushroom track here now. So now the first power we roll, we ignore, and we'll also be ignoring the second damage that we roll. So I should have pointed out actually that we could ignore the first damage dice that we rolled while we're in this section for single player. But obviously we've not rolled any yet, so it's going pretty well. But yeah, we haven't actually got anything useful to resolving because we're not on any scroll temples. But let's adventure again. Okay, so we take a damage unless we spend power. And we haven't taken any damage yet, so let's just take the 1 point of damage. So we're down to 5 health. And we've got 2 torches. Oh, we gain 1 power, so that's... Oh, no, wait, no, we don't gain 1 power because we're in there now. Okay, so we ignore that, so they're resolved. Yeah, so torches, and 2 is enough to move us onto the final space, but nothing happens now until we actually rest and come away, then we'll be completing quests. But that does now mean torches are no longer of any good to us, along with scrolls. So all we're wanting is 2 goblin punches to finish off our adventuring, really. And will we get them? Ooh, well, we've got the goblin punches, but what else have we got here? Just power. Okay, that's not power, sorry, magical thing. So 1, 2, 3. So we are into the second step here, which we didn't need. We only needed 1 step because we're only trying to learn the level 1 spell. But that also gives us our 2 damage, so that's our goblin dead. So we get that, and it tells us here that for each of these goblin markers we have our max health goes up by 1. We're then gonna rest, so we flip our card to the rest side and we return our people. So the guy from the portal who defeated the goblin will go back, and for him going back we can increase, oh, that should be there, we can increase power or health. Well, our power is currently maxed out, so we'll increase health. And our adventurers at an obelisk and temple will also return. So at the obelisk we do learn the spell, we were further enough along on the track, so we'll just move that token on the magic track there, and that also increases our max power. And this guy coming back completes the ice temple. This has 2 effects. Firstly, we complete this quest here, so we get the boomerang, and I think it's only fair to give it to the person who just completed the quest. So he is now carrying around a boomerang. So this means if he's hunting goblins, that any damage they do to us will also damage them, which is very useful. The other effect of doing the ice temple is the shield here moves along 1. So now if we do the sun temple, we'll unlock the shield, which will allow us to defend more cheaply. And as the quest was completed, this slides down and a new one comes out, and it's another ice temple, which isn't great because obviously we don't need to do it for our legendary items anymore, but we'll probably need to do it for the sake of getting the unlock, which is a bit of a shame. But what this would get us is the flute, which allows you to move as if by the griffin no matter what the card says, or at least that equipped hero. So with our night phase over, we now do our admin, which in single player means even though we completed a quest, this one gets discarded, which is a very big shame because we would have liked to have done that. And these move along and a new one comes out, which is another item 1. At any time you may convert health into power, but not the other direction. So we need to do the dark temple for this one, the shadow temple, which isn't terribly helpful for our items, but would be good from the point of view of getting that item. It's a very useful item to have. We then also reset our magic track, and we pick 3 of the goblin tokens on the board to flip. Now, we know that we want to get to the Shadow Temple and possibly the Ice Temple with regards to doing quests, and that we're going to want to get to Goblins. So I don't want to kind of block this off, as that will get in the way. I think this is quite out of the way for us, so we'll flip this one, and we'll flip this one again. It seems out of the way is why we're doing that, and I think this one's pretty out of our way as well. I mean, where else are we going to want to go for spells? Either the Scorpion here or the Spider, which is down there. So yeah, I mean, spell wise we're looking pretty good there as well. So how do we want to how much do we want to push? I think we want to push to go there. We want to get to this temple, and the Sun Temple might be useful, but I think we want to go there to learn a spell, there to complete a quest, and also go face a goblin with Boomerang. So, got to flip one more, what won't be in our way. I think over up here it's not in our way. So we'll go for that one. And we do need to replace the goblin we defeated before. So that goes there. And then we'll shuffle up our move cards. Oh, and of course we need to move the round marker. So, shuffling up movement cards. What are we going to get? So, we get by Griffin or by Horse for our first ones. So, we said we wanted to get to there, to here, and then facing a goblin. Now, Griffin and Horse are not going to enable us to get here, but it could enable us, Horse, to get to any of those goblins, or we could use Griffin and get to there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use Griffin and go there. So we need to make sure it's not the Boomerang guy, which it's not. So we'll move him to there using Griffin. Then the next one we get is by foot. So we're now choosing between by foot and by horse. Whew. So, I mean, we could do by horse to go here, but then that won't really help us much. We could idle. We are down on health and or power. Yeah, difficult choices, because we want to get to here, and we also then want to be facing a goblin. Now, I'd quite like to use this power, but that's not really going to help us until we've got someone here, which we haven't yet. So, and we haven't, going there won't help us because we've not got anyone facing a goblin yet. Kind of an unfortunate, because we wanted to get to the temple first and then be able to trigger stuff, or get to the goblin first then trigger stuff. So I guess we're going to have to go for a goblin, but then which goblin do we move to? I guess we'll use by horse to go to that goblin. And then we get by raft or by foot. We really needed by river to come out there. But what we can do is we can use by foot to go to there. And this space allows you to deal one punch to a goblin that one of your heroes is attacking. So we'll do that. And that was by foot. And then we're choosing between by river or by raft. Now, we can't actually use by river anymore because he's there, but we can use the raft to just travel up here to the Shadow Temple here, which I think I'm happy with that. And let's have a look at what the dice hold. Oh, okay. Interesting start. So we go one along here. We get 3 scrolls, which do absolutely nothing for us, but we do get a goblin punch. So we'll punch our goblin, and then we'll go for another roll of the dice, I think. And, oh, right, okay, so quite a varied result here. So the goblin hitting us, we can actually ignore the first one because We're in this first section here. Gaining a power, we can gain a power. That puts us up to 4 power. The torch will allow us to move along the shadow temple, so we'll do that. And what we'll actually do is we're going to push ahead and we're going to use 2 power to go a second space torch as well. The scroll does nothing, and then we punch our goblin again, who's almost dead already. He only needs 2 more punches, so let's carry on adventuring. Oh, a lot of scrolls, some power, which we do gain. So power takes us back up to 3 power. The scrolls do nothing. The goblin punch puts him 1 away from death. And obviously we're going to keep adventuring because we've got nowhere near where we need to be yet. Oh, okay, so this is a good result, I think. So the power takes us back up to 4 power. We move 2 along this track, 1, 2, and we need to get into the 2 space to be able to learn our spell this time. But those 2 torches mean that we do move 1 more space along the temple track, so that's good as well. And let's roll again. Oh, so, okay, right, so the goblin we ignore because we are still in there just. The 2 power is going to go to waste actually. We can't, we're at max power, so that's a shame. But then the torch, 1 torch isn't enough to move along, but we'll spend 2 power to forge ahead, making it enough. So we're at the end of our temple track now, and the scroll is doing nothing for us. So we need 1 more goblin hit, and we need to get to the 2 area on the magic track. This might be difficult. Let's see what we get on the dice, shall we? Oh, I've been forgetting something. The boomerang. When we rolled a hit, we should... Oh, actually, it's only when we take damage from the hit, and we have not actually taken the damage yet. So that's fine. Because they're cancelled, we're not taking them. So, we've got a goblin, a power, magic, 2 goblin punches. Okay, so we ignore the goblin, we gain 1 power. So we're at 3 power. And then we move along this track, so we're into danger zone now. We hit our goblin, so we kill the goblin, which increases our max health, of course, again. And we'll keep adventuring. So the goblin will be hitting us. And I think... Do we want to spend the power? No, we'll just take the hit. We've got 6 health, that takes us back down to 5 health. So we take the hit, and then we move 1, 2, 3, which puts us where we need to be. So we're then going to rest. So resting this guy, we can go up to, so that works out nicely. And we'll gain a health, and our max power goes up to 5. No, it's gone up twice. So it should be 6, our max power now. Very nice. And then we rest our guy at the Shadow Temple here. And we'll take... Do you want health or power? I think we're going to go for the health. And that completes this quest here, giving us the gemstone that allows us to convert health into power. And then we rest this guy, and we'll gain a health given the new ability, because health is essential and we can always just convert it into power if we need to. And our new quest out, we get a movement 1. Have 2 players in another player's castle. Okay, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest one to do, but it would complete a quest, and we then get to move a hero to any map card of our choice anyway, so potentially useful. But anyway, so that's the end of the round. So we lose a quest, and we get another movement 1. Okay, so we've got to have all 3 of our heroes at least 3 map cards away from your castle. Right, another quite difficult one, but the reward is fairly good on this. 2 health and 2 power. So we might be able to do both of those. And then that would affect what temple we want to end up at though. And we need to flip our goblin tokens, and there are only 3 that we can flip. We reset the magic track and we move the marker on. So that's the end of the round. On to the next one. I could definitely do with some more power. Let's see what movement cards we have to choose from. By raft and by ship. Okay, I mean if we're going for the getting 3 away from the castle, the by raft is not going to help us on that one. But the by ship would. But what do we actually want to be learning? I mean, we could go for the ice temple again to get this flute, but I'm more inclined to see what comes out from completing movement quests, but that means setting up with doing the goblins. I suppose if we went for the goblin over here, that would be 1, 2, 3. That would then be 3 away from the castle, so that would be working towards that. So that could be an idea. And spell-wise, I mean, I'm quite happy with where we are on the spell track at the moment, so I don't really want to focus on that. I definitely want to go after a goblin. And yeah, I think temple, I need to complete a quest. So that creates a difficult situation, because I really don't know which to go after here. Man, the quests that have come out just make this such a difficult choice. Let's go for by ship. We're going to move this guy to here, so it doesn't cost us any power. It'll flip that, and then that's 1, 2, that's 3 away. So I think that's a good choice. And then that leaves us with the next choice. By horse or by raft? Okay. So, I mean, we could rely on using hits to kill this with the boomerang and try and actually kill more than 1 goblin in the round. Could be a good way to get points, but we still then also want to be 3 away. 1, 2, 3. If we went up here, that would be 3 away from the castle, but it would cost us a power. You know, it might be worth it. But then how are we going to get someone else 3 away? Or we could just move someone to here, which would allow us to move someone 3. Yeah, so let's do that. So if we move him to the grotto here, using by raft, we can then move him 3, and then we'll be able to use by horse to get this guy 3 away. So where do we want to go 3? 2. Can't be any of these. 1, 2, 3. So it could be to here. Could be to here. I mean, the Sun Temple would be useful for then getting the shield unlocked. So I've ended on his map card. So we flip him and we go 1, 2, 3. Let's go for that. And then next choice, we have by griffin or by horse. So where could we go useful for either of those? I mean, we could griffin down to here and advance one of your heroes in a temple 1 space, and that would put us 3 away. Or we could horse somewhere. Yeah, So that wouldn't be far enough. We'd go here or here. I mean, this, we could up our spell level a load, but I don't think it's going to be that useful. We could do the fire temple, but there's no quests for it, so it's really not going to be that useful to us either. Yeah, I mean, there's really not very much. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pay the 1 power to do that. Going by Griffin down to there. And that allows us to move someone on a temple track, so we'll move on this one. And that leaves us with the final option of by horse or by foot. And we kind of want to get this guy somewhere. Oh, actually, first, we've completed this quest. And I'm actually going to use the gemstone to turn 2 health into 2 power. And then this quest, we gain 2 health and 2 power. So that's good. And that means we get a new quest out, which is another movement. Have 2 heroes on the center map card. Okay, well, we've only got 1 movement left, so we're not going to be able to do that one. So I was kind of hoping for a temple-y one to come out. We can go by horse or by foot. These are both in useful positions. We could go for another goblin, or we could go for this temple. Both are useful options for us. I'm feeling... The thing is, this isn't going to complete a quest. It might help us get a legendary item, but that's not going to be a lot of points. Going after a goblin will get us a lot more points. So we're going to go by foot for that goblin. And time to adventure. So... Oh, that's not a good start. Oh. That was a goblin punch. Not a goblin punch. A goblin. So, 3 goblins. So we get to ignore the first one. And we then have a choice. We can either take them as hits, or we can try and block them. I think we're going to take them as hits. So that takes us down to 6 health. But because of the boomerang, that allows us to do 2 damage to the goblin the boomerang guy is attacking. And then those will allow us to do 2 damage to our other goblins. So we've got 2 goblins down 2 health. I think that's a good start. Though we did also take a bit of damage to our health as well, which is less ideal. Okie dokie. So, do we want torches or scrolls? We wanted scrolls, so that's very good. Okay, so we've got 1 that we ignore, because we're in the first area here. We've got a goblin punch, so we'll do that to the one without the boomerang. And we've got 2 scrolls, so we're actually going to spend 2 power to boost that to 3 scrolls and move 2 spaces on our temple track. And, ooh, more beating up of goblins going on. Okay, well, I think we'll spend the 2 power to boost... So we're down to 2 power now, left, to boost that to 2. So we're at the end of our temple. We do 2 damage to a goblin, so we'll do it to the non-boomerang guy, which actually kills him. So that gains us more max health. And the torches do nothing for us. So all we need now is more goblin punching. That's all we care about. Okay. So we don't care about that. That's doing nothing. We gain 2 power, so 2 power is good. That takes us up to 4 power. And this goes along 1. And let's keep going. So those are doing nothing for us. So we ignore because of where we are. We gain a power. So we're back up to 5 power. And then we move along here 1. Let's keep rolling. We only need a few more goblin punches. 3 more would do it. Oh, and that is going to help us a lot. So 2 on this track though does mean we're now in a more dangerous position. But 2 more damage means we only need 1 more damage to our goblin. And what we got? So we've got the damage to the goblin. The power we ignore because we're in that zone. We move one along because of that. We don't need any scrolls. And that one is our goblin dead. So that's another dead goblin. And we'll rest at that point. So this guy comes back and this guy comes back. And we're just going to gain health for both of those. And this one also comes back and we'll gain health. And completing the Sun Temple, we move our shield, unlocking it. So this allows us to defend with only spending 1 power now, rather than 2. And we'll give this to our fighter guy who has the boomerang, I think. Then quests, this one goes away, these slide down, and our new one is another movement quest, Light the Cursed Beacons. So you have to have all of your heroes on separate map cards on the coast in order to do this. That doesn't seem that difficult potentially, although our castle one doesn't count. But in the fact that we have so many movement ones is quite difficult, because we're only going to be able to do 1 or 2 of those really. I mean, especially as these are both have someone on specific spaces, that's very difficult to do. Then we flip out only green goblin, and we have to put 2 more out to replace the 2 that we killed. And we advance round marker and we reset that. So we've got 2 more rounds to go. And what are our movement options for this round? We start with by ship and by foot. So we kind of want to complete quests and we want to go after goblins. So having 2 people in the centre would help us complete a quest and would help us do goblins, or we could try and get all 3 people on the coast. Now, I'd kind of like to unlock the sword, but we're so far away from doing that I don't know that there's much point trying now. With only 2 rounds left, we wouldn't actually get it. So I think focus on quests and goblins. Now, this only would require 2 people, this requires 3 people. So I'm inclined to say we go for this one. So in which case, we'll go by foot, we'll move this person to face this goblin here. So he's in the centre card, which leaves us with the choice by ship or by raft. Okay, frustrating because that doesn't help us get anyone to here. We could raft to here to move someone to there though, so maybe we'll do that. Yeah, that seems worthwhile. So we'll raft him to there, allowing us to go 1, 2, 3, and we gain 2 health. So what we'll do is we'll turn a health into power, then we gain 2 health for each of our heroes outside of the castle. So they're all outside the castle. We then also, however, have 2 people on the centre one. So our spell token goes up 1, and that's all we gain for that. We then shift quests down, and our new one out is another movement one. Have all 3 of your heroes in a horizontal line, each on separate map cards. Okay, well, we're actually quite close to doing that. You gain 3 power. Less worried about that, more worried about completing the quest. So, our next movement options. By ship is not going to be of any use. By horse it will be then. And if we move one of these to either there or there, then we're completing a quest. And we can then also face a goblin. Why do we not have a goblin there? We should have a goblin there. We've gone wrong somewhere, so I think that should even be a red goblin, because that's not one that we've replaced. We've just missed replacing it in a previous round. So we could go all out on goblins because we're not getting any quests for temples, but that could be suicidal. I think we're going to go for it though. So we're going to use road to move him to face this goblin. So by horse. And then our final movement option is by ship, which we can't do because we have no one on the coast, or by griffin. Oh, sorry, so first we complete that. We don't gain any benefit from the reward, but because we're on max power anyway. Oh, and the new quest is another movement one. Map the land. Have all 3 of your heroes at least 3 map cards away from each other. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a difficult one to manage with them all in a line like they are. But they probably won't stay there. But it does mean there's still not much point in going after the item quests, going after the temples. We could go after a spell, get a few points that way, or we could try and go for 3 goblins. It sounds suicidal, but I'm going to go for the try for 3 goblins approach. I've never tried doing this before, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Or actually we could have moved there and done a damage to make it easier to do 2, but we did 2 okay last time. Let's adventure. Okay, so not the best of starts. Well, we can ignore that. We move 1, 2 along here. We can ignore that because we haven't got anyone in temples. We do 1 goblin, 1 damage. So we'll just go with the one that's closest for the sake of ease. And we roll again. Oh. So, where's the other dice? There we go. Oh, so a lot of power coming out. So we have 2 goblins. We ignore the first one. I think we'll take the 1 damage and allow our boomerang guy to do 1 damage. We then gain 2 power. Really wish we had the sword so that we could be killing these goblins using that power. The power's wasted and we don't need the torch, so yeah, let's roll again. Come on, goblin punches. Oh, that's better. Well, we can't use the power. This goes up another 1, and then 2 goblin punches. So we'll keep punching the one we have been punching. So he's now only needs 2 more. And let's roll again. So we ignore that. We can't gain any power because we're at max. And we go up here. So we're now in more dangerous territory. So we'd ignore the first power, but we can't gain any anyway. We need to roll more goblin punches here, otherwise we're in trouble. Okay, so we take 1 hit. I think we can afford to take the 1 hit. Puts us down to 8 health, and we use the boomerang guy to do a damage to his goblin. Then we do a damage to the goblin we've been damaging. Oh, and we should move to... Oh, okay. So we can no longer gain power, and all hits are going to hurt us. This is worrying. I may have bitten off more than I can chew here. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 2 hits. I think we're going to take the 2 hits and do 2 with the boomerang. So we've got 2 goblins, 1 away from death now, and we're down to 6 health. And we've got 1 full health goblin still. Okay, so those 3 do nothing. This goes along 1, worryingly close now to the end of that track. And we do 1 damage, which kills 1 of our goblins. And we'll keep adventuring for now. We're in danger zone here. Ooh, but that's a nice result. So, power does nothing, scrolls do nothing. So our currently undamaged goblin will do 2 damage to using these. And let's roll again. Okay, power does nothing. Torches do nothing. And this guy does 1 damage. So we'll take that 1 damage. We're down to 5 health. But we use the boomerang to kill our second goblin. And so we need 3 more goblin punches. I'm inclined to give it at least 1 more go. See how close we can get. Okay. Those do nothing. That I'm going to use a power using the shield to deflect, to block. And we do 1 punch. So we need 2 more goblin punches. Oh, we might manage this. Oh, that's not good. So these all do nothing. And then this moves us into danger zone. So now now all hits do 2 damage, and any more of these do 1 damage. So we could die here. But we're so close to killing that last goblin that I have to carry on. Oh, mistake! Oh no. Okay, well that's doing nothing. We can block these with 2 power each, with 1 power each. So that takes us down to 3 power. We can't block those. So that's 2 damage. So we're on 3 power, 3 health. We need 2 more damage to kill the goblin. And we'll lose a spell level if we die. I mean, the spell level's just going to be 1 point. I'm inclined to keep pushing. We don't lose our goblin tokens if we die, so let's keep going. Okay, none of this does anything. That will do 2 damage. I'll spend a power to block it. Come on, just 2 more goblin punches. Oh, well, there's 1. Are we going to survive to be able to benefit from it? Well, we can spend 1 power to block that. We then take 2 damage. So we're on 1 health and 1 power. And we need 1 more goblin punch. This is tense, but I'm going for it. So we need no goblins and no magic track, no mushrooms. No goblins and no mushroom track. Excellent. Okay, and 1 goblin punch. So we did it. That's it. We killed the goblin. And I think we can afford to rest there. Although, would it actually be better to push it and die? Because if we die, we'd lose 1 point, but we'd go back up to 6 health and 3 power, which could be valuable. I think it's breaking the game a little, but we're going to actually not rest because it's better for us not to. Oh, and we get a ton of punches which do nothing. We're just kind of trying to kill ourselves now. There we go. So that does it. That kills us. So we are exhausted. All heroes, no matter where they are, return to the castle. We go back to 3 power and 6 health. And that's the end of the phase. So we remove this quest. We slide these along. We get a new one out, which is the Shadow Temple. And you get the shovel for doing it, which won't really matter because by the time we get it, it will be the end of the game. So, some interesting choices ahead for the next round. So, for round 5, and we reset there, and we flip 1, 2, 3 goblins, and we put out 1, 2, 3. And that's us ready to move into the next round. Oh, for dying, I should have moved, sorry, being exhausted, I should have moved that down 1. And yeah. We're in an interesting position because we've got 7 goblins dead. So if we want maximum points for goblins, we need to kill 3 more again. And for quests, we've only done 5 quests. So looking at this, an extra quest is worth 4 points. An extra goblin would be worth 5 points. So we're really struggling at the moment to reach our target points. But let's see what movement options we have, where we want to go. So temple-wise, it would make sense to possibly go to the Shadow Temple up here. Our movement options, we've got by griffin or by foot. If we get 3 people on the coast, and I think they do need to be on separate cards, yeah, or we can have all 3 heroes 3 cards away from each other to do this one. Yeah, so we might be able to do 2 of those potentially this turn, because we could be on the coast and 3 away, but we would only be able to complete 1 each action. So we need to get to the coast and separated. So these 2 are actually pretty useful for that, because we could move 1 to here, 1 to there. They're on the coast and they're far apart from each other. So we'll move Boomerang here to face this goblin, using by Griffin, I suppose. We could Griffin over to here. Yeah, that might make more sense, because then that leaves it open to using Road to go there. But then from here, potentially Raft or Sea to get to a goblin. Yes, okay, let's go by Griffin. Go 1, 2 to here. So we can gain 1 power or 1 energy. 1 health or 1 power. And we'll go for a health. It's one thing to remember, we need to get our health and stuff up. But I suppose if we manage to do these quests, that'll do that nicely. And then our next choice, we have by horse or by foot. That's a tough choice. I think we're going to go by horse to here. And that then leaves us by foot or by ship. Okay. So we can go by ship to here and face this goblin. That works nicely, and we're now all on coast and 3 away. So we'll go for the coast one first. So that gives us 2 health and 2 power, putting us up to 9 health and 5 power. Oh, which is our new maximum power, because we did lose a spell level, didn't we? Is that right? We should be... No, we never increased it. 6 is our maximum. Okay, so that's 1 quest complete, and we get a new quest out, which is Battle the Kraken. Okay. So have 2 of your heroes on opposite coasts in the same row or column, which we already do, which could gain us 3 power. That's interesting, because we can only do 1 a turn, unfortunately, and we've only got 1 turn left, so we can only do 1 of these, not both, which is interesting. I don't think it actually makes any difference which one we do. We now have the choice by foot or by raft to move. Now this guy's doing nothing for us. However, if we move him away from this coast, we can't then complete this. But this one, they only have to be 3 map cards away from each other, orthogonally 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we could move him by foot to face a goblin here, and that then makes them all 3 apart. We'll use the gemstone to turn health. No, we don't need to do that. We just gain 1 health, 1 energy, because that maxes us out for completing that. So that is another quest completed, and we're now set up as we enter into the night phase, trying to fight 3 goblins again. And the new quest was another movement one, which is have a hero on a temple, an obelisk, and a portal, which doesn't matter. We're not going to be able to complete any more quests this game. All we're concerned about is killing goblins right now. So let's see what the dice hold. Okay, scrolls we can ignore. Power we can ignore because we're at max power at the moment. We ignore that because we're in the first area. So we do one goblin punch, which we'll do to this goblin just here, which is actually on screen for a change, which is nice. Then let's roll the dice once more. More goblin punches. This is good. This torch is doing nothing for us. Power, we've not used any. So 2 goblin punches. We'll go 1, 2. So torches and scrolls, pointless. That does nothing because we're in the first area of the magic track, which is going to be changing a bit now. So we ignore the first one, we take 1 damage, taking us down to 9. The boomerang does 1 damage to a goblin. We're at max power, we move up 1 on there. And again. Oh, lots of power coming out, which isn't great for us because we don't have enough ways to spend power. We didn't manage to get the items really to do that. So, yeah, power does nothing. We move 1, 2 on the track, and we hit this guy 1 more time. So he's nearly dead, so that's good at least. Ooh. Okay, so we ignore that one. We take 1 damage, but we do 1 damage. We're maxed out on power. We ignore torches because we haven't got anyone on any paths. And we do 1 to this guy, so that's him dead. And rolling our dice again. And nothing, 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 nothing. 1 goblin punch. So what I'm actually going to do is just swap the goblins. It doesn't make much difference with this being the final round, just so that this goblin is on screen and he'll take 1 damage. Okie dokie. So we ignore that. We take 1 damage, so we're down to 7 health, but boomerang kicks in again. We move up on this track, so we're now into more dangerous territory. But we're down to just 2 goblins, and one of those is not far off dead. Ooh. Okay. So we rolled a lot of goblins here. So the first one hits us, second one doesn't, and then the rest do. And we'll move on. So 2 damage takes us down to 5 health, but does kill another goblin because of the boomerang effect. So we've just got 1 goblin left, this guy here that we're worrying about now. And we've got 6 power, 5 health. Oh, we didn't want those. Mushrooms are not what our friends right now. Okay, so we're going to use 1 power to defend against that, but we immediately get it back. Oh no, we don't get it back actually because of being in the second area now. We ignore the first one of those. 1, 2, we're now into the third area, so we cannot gain any more power. Ooh. Come on, we need a lot more goblin damage. We need 4 more goblin damage. None of those are goblin damage. So the only thing that does anything is that moves 1 more towards us being killed. Come on, we can do this. Yes, a goblin hit, but it may be too little, too late, because we move into there. We do goblin hit. So we're now, yeah, hits are going to be doing us a lot of damage now. And we've only got 5 health. Oh! And they each do damage and we cannot block it. So that takes us down to 2 health. We do one more punch. We need 2 goblin punches. Come on. Just 2 more goblin punches. Okay, well, we've got a goblin, which will block. We're using a power and our shield. Those we can ignore. We don't get any benefit from power because of being in here. We do a goblin punch. So we just need 1 more goblin punch. Just 1 more. Come on. 1 more. Come on, dice. Come on. Here, dice. They're not the dice I wanted. So 2 goblins. So we'll use 2 power. 1, 2 to block those. We can't block the mushroom. So we're down to 2 power and 1 health. And all we need is 1 goblin punch. Oh, well, we've got the goblin punch, but are we going to survive to it? So we can ignore those. So a power to block that. So 1 power, 1 health. We can't block that. Instant death. Because that resolves first, so we don't even get to kill the goblin. For dying, we're going to lose a spell level as well. That sucks. And yeah, that's then the end of the game. So let's take a look at score. So our spell level is 2, which is -1 point. That's not a good start. Quests, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 16, so -1, 15. Then goblins, we have quite a few. Let's have a count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because we failed to get the 10th one. So that's 30, so that's 45 only. Then 4 points for each of these unlocked, which was only 1. So 49 points. Well, yeah, we were aiming high with our aim for legend here, which was 60 points. Our actual score of, what did you say, 49 would have beaten the first 2 levels and put us 1 off of Squire. Now, even if we'd managed to kill that final goblin, that would have gained us 2 more points. So we would have been on 17 plus 35. So we would have only managed 52. So, yeah, I mean, it's not easy, and 52 wouldn't have got us much further. It would have got us 1 level higher, but we still would not have hit legend. As I say, I've never hit that. And that is Tiny Epic Quest. I do hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please do check out the rest of my videos, and also subscribe, share, comment and like. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.